Hi, we're Mish and Rob, and we write a blog called makingitanywhere.com about our location-independent lifestyle.
Just to explain a bit about where we are now, we're in Sofia, which is in Bulgaria. We've been location-independent for just over a year because we quit our jobs about a year ago and decided to go to New York for 6 months just to figure out what to do with our lives. And while we were there, we decided that we were going to start up our own business and live like this forever if we can.
Yes, there's a career break that went wrong. It just carried on.
Yeah.
We started doing this purely because we wanted a bit of a break from corporate life, I suppose. I was actually running my own business at the time. So we thought, okay, let's just do it.
We just really thought it was a 6-month career break. And so we shoved everything at my parents' house and told them that we would come back to pick it up in 6 months' time. Our initial plans when we left for New York were really just to figure out what we liked doing and what we wanted to do. We didn't really know much beyond that, so we had a year's worth of savings, I think at least.
Yeah.
And we had 2 properties in the UK, so we had rent coming in from those. So we knew we'd be okay until we figured it out. We didn't know that it was going to go this way, but we started writing a blog, and then we started getting work through our blog. It turned out that lots of people were reading it and actually liked our writing style and started hiring us because of what we'd written. We just kept getting referral after referral, and it just kind of carried on from there, really.
As long as you've got enough to support yourself and you know you've got a period of time to figure it out, and lots of people still seem to have several things on the go, rather than just like one business that they knew from the start was going to be the one. They'll dabble with a few different things. And we write about it a lot on the blog because it is the big question, how can I make money out of this? And we've tried to give lots of practical advice in different ways about how you can get closer to figuring it all out. But there is a lot of trial and error, and you never quite know where it's going to go. So we were just lucky that we'd got ourselves into a position where we could take the time we needed to figure it out. We work all the time, but it doesn't feel like work, and I think that's the secret.
Living the life of a digital nomad is probably not something that everyone can do. You need to be willing to be independent. You need to be comfortable with people thinking you're a bit weird, because although lots and lots more people are doing it these days, you're still in the minority if you're going to be doing it. The thing that we love about being location independent is that we'll meet other digital nomads in Chiang Mai, and then we won't see them for months, and then we'll hang out with them again in Berlin, and that's fantastic for us. I suppose you need to be more self-motivated because no one's going to tell you what to do or how to do it. You just have to do it yourself.
Also, I think you've got to be comfortable with a lot of uncertainty. There's the uncertainty of your income, because whatever your business is, it's not going to be the same as getting a paycheck every month. And there's also the uncertainty that comes from moving all the time. And, some location-independent people will stay in the same place for 6 months or a year or more. We happen to travel more often, and that means that there's a lot of uncertainty because we've lived in about 20 odd different places in the last year. You never quite know what you're going to encounter and what it's going to be like. But I think you do have to have you have to have a good reason to want to do it, because you have to really make an effort to get comfortable with these things.
So for a person who wants to become a digital nomad, when it comes to actually getting started, I think the main thing is getting into the right mindset about it. Sort of realizing that you're not going to be able to take all your possessions with you. That's something I've told my parents recently, because they're actually going to become digital nomads towards the end of this year. They're going to be trying it out for 3 months.
It's easier than you think to become location independent. The biggest difficulty is getting over the mental barrier, really. I think the other thing that I would say, if you want to get started, is make friends and become part of a community of people who are doing it, because you've got people online who you can just email or talk to over Skype or whatever all the time, who understand what you're doing. And it means that any problems you've got, there's probably someone who you know who solves that, who can give you advice. It just makes everything a whole lot easier to have that support network, especially because the people who are your support network at home suddenly won't have a clue what you're doing and will think you're totally mad.
If we were to start this whole location independent thing again, I think the one thing we would do differently is to freak out less, because we did a hell of a lot of freaking out over money, over everything, especially when it came to travel. We would pack our suitcases days in advance, we'd plan everything, we'd work out how to get to the airport, that sort of thing. And if you're going to be living as a digital nomad, this is your life, this is your lifestyle. You can't be freaking out over the odd plane trip.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I freak out less over money as well.
Yeah.
I think when we were over the first few months, we were just because we knew that we had to try to figure something out and make it work. We were just working all the time, but not in a very productive way and not really on stuff that mattered. But we just felt that as long as we were working, we were kind of doing something, and so maybe it would all be okay. But what we should have done was just enjoy it, enjoy the time that we had in a new country, and have faith that it would all be okay in the end.
Over the next 6 months, I think we're just going to carry on doing what we're doing. We're absolutely loving it. We've got a few other little sort of web projects that we're working on.
We're in Europe at the moment. We're going to be here for the next little while, bouncing around, seeing some new places, and then we're going to go and do a stint in the US. We're going to go to the West Coast. And then towards the end of the year, we're going to go back to Asia, where we started this year. We're going to go to a conference in Thailand and hopefully get time while we're there to go to Vietnam and Bali as well, because we've never been there before.